Imagine this. You're in your 30s, and life's just started getting comfortable. You've got a decent job, maybe a place of your own, and you're finally starting to feel like you've got things figured out. But then, a realization hits you. You missed key opportunities to build your wealth in your 20s. Opportunities that could have set you years ahead. You start thinking, what if I could go back and fix those mistakes? Well, if you're in your 20s right now, you have that power. You have the chance to rewrite your financial future. But only if you avoid these 5 critical financial mistakes that could cost you years of freedom, or worse, your dream lifestyle. These are the mistakes I see people making all the time. And trust me, they can have serious consequences down the road. But don't worry, I'm here to break down these mistakes and show you exactly how to avoid them. So stick around, because what you learn today could be the difference between struggling financially and living a life of abundance. Let's be real, nobody likes talking about budgets. It's like that dreaded diet you know you need to start but keep putting off. But here's the thing, budgeting isn't about restricting yourself. It's about freedom. It's about taking control of your money so you can live the life you want. Without a clear budget, you're basically flying blind. It's like hopping in your car and just driving without any destination in mind. A budget is your financial roadmap. It tells your money where to go, how much to spend, and how much to save. Think of it this way. Creating a budget is like giving your money a job. You're the boss, and you get to decide how hard it works for you. You'd put it in the bank, allocate it to bills, and maybe even invest some. It brings order to the chaos and ensures that your money is working as hard for you as you worked for it. Because if it's not working for you, it's working for someone else. Review your budget regularly, adjust it as needed, and celebrate your wins along the way. It's about making conscious choices with your money so you can achieve your financial goals and live a life of abundance. You land your first real job out of college. The paychecks are bigger than anything you've ever seen before. You feel invincible, like you finally made it. And you want to celebrate, treat yourself, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's totally understandable. But here's where things can get tricky. As your income grows, so do your expenses. It starts subtly. Maybe you upgrade your apartment, start eating out more, or splurge on that designer bag you've had your eye on. Before you know it, you're trapped in the cycle of lifestyle inflation, where your expenses rise in lockstep with your income. Here's the thing. Lifestyle inflation is a silent wealth killer. It's so insidious because it feels good in the moment. You're enjoying the finer things in life, right? But what you're actually doing is sabotaging your future self. Every dollar you spend on unnecessary upgrades and indulgences is a dollar you're not investing, a dollar that's not growing and working for you. It's like running on a treadmill. You're working hard, but you're not actually getting anywhere. So how do you avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation? It all comes down to awareness and intentionality. Before you make a purchase, especially a big one, ask yourself, am I buying this because I need it or because I can afford it? There's a big difference between the two. Needs are essential for your well-being, while wants are simply desires. And while it's perfectly fine to indulge in your wants occasionally, they shouldn't be dictating your spending habits. Remember, true wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep. By resisting the urge to constantly upgrade your lifestyle, you'll free up more money to invest, build a safety net, and create a future where you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Chapter 3. High-interest debt. The financial quicksand you need to avoid. Let's talk about debt. Specifically, the kind of debt that keeps you up at night. High-interest debt. We're talking credit cards, payday loans, and any other type of debt that charges exorbitant interest rates. This kind of debt is like quicksand. The more you ignore it, the deeper you sink, and the harder it becomes to escape. You see, high-interest debt has this nasty habit of snowballing. Let's say you rack up $5,000 on a credit card with a 20% interest rate. If you only make the minimum payments, it could take you years, even decades, to pay it off. And all the while, you're shelling out hundreds, even thousands of dollars in interest alone. That's money that could be going towards your future, your investments, your dreams. But instead, it's lining the pockets of credit card companies. Don't let that happen to you. High-interest debt can be incredibly damaging to your financial well-being. It can ruin your credit score, make it difficult to get approved for loans, and even lead to wage garnishment in extreme cases. So what can you do to avoid this financial pitfall? First and foremost, if you're already struggling with high-interest debt, make it your top priority to pay it off as quickly as possible. Create a debt repayment plan, cut back on unnecessary expenses, and consider debt consolidation options like balance transfers or personal loans with lower interest rates. But prevention is always better than cure. The best way to avoid high-interest debt is to be mindful of your spending habits. Live within your means, track your expenses, and build an emergency fund so you're not relying on credit cards when unexpected costs arise. Remember, debt is not a tool to be used lightly. It's a serious financial obligation that can have long-term consequences. By being smart about your spending and prioritizing debt repayment, you can break free from the shackles of high-interest debt and pave the way for a brighter financial future. Chapter 4. Not investing early. Don't let your money sleep on the job. Let's talk about one of the biggest financial mistakes you can make in your 20s, not investing early. I know, investing can seem intimidating, complicated, and maybe even a little boring. You'd rather spend your money on things you can enjoy right now, like travel, experiences, and maybe a fancy gadget or two. And that's totally fine. You should enjoy your money. But here's the thing. Time is your greatest asset when it comes to investing, and the earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow exponentially. This is the power of compounding, the concept of earning interest on your interest. It's like a snowball effect for your wealth. Imagine this. You invest $1,000 today in a low-cost index fund that earns an average annual return of 7%. Fast forward 30 years, and that $1,000 could potentially grow to over $7,600. That's the magic of compounding. Now imagine you wait until your 30s or 40s to start investing. You've already missed out on years of potential growth. You'll have to invest significantly more to catch up, and even then, you might not reach the same level of wealth you could have achieved by starting early. Think of it this way. Every day you delay investing is a day your future self will regret. It's like hitting the snooze button on your financial future. But here's the good news. Investing doesn't have to be complicated or scary. You don't need to be a Wall Street whiz or have thousands of dollars to get started. Start small, start simple, and just start. There are plenty of resources available to help you learn the basics of investing, from online courses to financial advisors. Open a Roth IRA, contribute to your 401k if your employer offers one, and consider investing in low-cost index funds or ETFs. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Chapter 5. No emergency fund. Don't let life's curveballs sideline your dreams. Life is unpredictable. It's full of surprises, both good and bad. And sometimes those surprises come with a hefty price tag. That's where your emergency fund comes in, your financial safety net that catches you when life throws a curveball. Without an emergency fund, you're one crisis away from financial ruin. Imagine this. Your car breaks down, your landlord suddenly increases your rent, or you lose your job unexpectedly. These are all real-life scenarios that can happen to anyone, and they can wreak havoc on your finances if you're not prepared. An emergency fund gives you peace of mind. It's the financial cushion that allows you to navigate unexpected expenses without derailing your financial goals. Without it, you might be forced to rely on credit cards, take out high-interest loans, or even dip into your retirement savings, which can set you back years financially. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Graham, I can barely afford my bills, let alone save for an emergency. I get it, I've been there. But trust me, building an emergency fund is crucial, even if it means starting small. Start by setting aside a small amount each paycheck, even if it's just $20 or $50. As you get raises or bonuses, increase your contributions. Your goal should be to build up an emergency fund that covers 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This might seem like a lot, but it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Remember, life happens. But with an emergency fund in place, you'll be financially prepared to weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Your future self will thank you. So there you have it. The 5 mistakes that can make or break your financial future in your 20s. Avoiding these isn't just about money. It's about freedom, choice, and living the life you dream of. It's about having the financial security to pursue your passions, travel the world, and build a life you're proud of. Will you be the one looking back in 10 years, thankful you took control now? Or will you be filled with regret, wishing you had made different choices. The power is in your hands. Remember, small changes today can lead to massive results down the road. And speaking of growing your wealth, I've got something powerful to share with you in the next video: the power of compounding. It's the secret sauce behind long-term wealth, and it's something everyone in their 20s needs to understand. Make sure you click here to watch that next. Your future self will thank you.